Well, my friends, family, esteemed colleagues, I was receiving requests to talk about René Quinton and his plasma and what is the difference between my work and René Quinton's work. Well, I have mentioned before many times that when I decided to go into discovering why we are not being educated correctly in a field of medicine, I understood that I cannot go to any written material and I should not listen to anybody else because we are just regurgitating someone else's opinions. And what I did, I just went observing, and then I would just sit down. I lived on a boat at that time, and I would sit in a cockpit, in a shade, and I would close my eyes, just calm down, and let thoughts bubble up. And when you are zeroing on something, then that kind of a thought start bubbling up. And I would start placing the mosaic together. And whenever I saw that something was missing, that I could not progress from the standpoint, I would ask question, and I received the answer. And many years ago, after my initial conversation with a higher self, soul, or God, whatever you want to call it, when I have been warned of certain things, I said, please don't talk to me. I would like to develop my sense of knowing. I did not call it then through vibration at that time, but basically intuition. And only if I make mistake that has to be corrected at the time, then correct me. And since then, I did not hear voices. Only happened in 2 ayahuascas, one in particular, where I decided that maybe it's time for me to start manifesting red kachina. And that voice came. And same voice I remember from young age, saying, Darko, what are you doing? This is not your job. It's a calm, authoritative voice. And it is male voice when men are concerned, and it will be female voice talking when women are concerned, if they are doing this. This just basically shows me that it is consciousness responding, using your robot to do so. Now, my work, my discoveries, well, nothing new. This is old stuff. If you go through different books, you are going to find bits and pieces there. Now, why I did not want to check what somebody else has to say about it, because then I am getting stuck to their opinion, start taking in consideration their reasoning. And when I wanted to discover the truth, I didn't want to be sidetracked. And although, yes, when I was giving my first speeches many years ago, maybe 18 years ago, then people would come to me saying, oh, Darko, you must have heard of Batnanjeli or René Quinton. So I actually had to looked through internet to check who those people are. And yes, I saw the value of their work, although I also saw things which to me are unnecessary. So I basically stick to my guns. For example, Batmajeli was talking about drinking water and maybe putting a little bit of salt in the mouth to help the hydration process. And then I noticed when I was watching some videos of people discussing René Quinton's work, then I noticed that, okay, what René Quinton did, he was bleeding the animals, dogs, basically at the beginning, and replacing their blood with what he called plasma, which was a diluted seawater mixture, about 3-to-1, considering that seawater has about 30-35 grams of salt per liter, and blood plasma contains approximately 10 grams, 9 grams of salt. So 3-to-1 basically is close to the mixture that would then replace blood plasma and hydrates. If you put it directly in a vein, will not cause any harm. And then after he discovered that it didn't kill any dog, but actually even those who are on a way of dying would recover and heal when their blood was replaced with clean plasma. He started implementing this on orphans, sick orphans that were dying. He got permit to collect them, and then he would heal them injecting in their veins, bleeding them and injecting blood plasma. This is as far as I know about René Quinton. But now there are variety sources selling Quinton plasma. Well, what they are selling diluted seawater using the Quinton's measurement 3-to-1. Only they are claiming that always every manufacturer has the best possible Quinton's plasma because it is the most appropriate plasma. So it was drawn from, I don't know, some claim 10 meters, 15 meters, some say 100 meters, some say 200 meters. Okay, they're inventing hot water. When basically we have to understand one thing, that it does not really matter how deep you go to take the water out, because the salinity is going to be approximately the same, with exemption the surface water in areas of stagnation when there is no current. Because what happens is that sea currents, they don't flow only on the surface, only vertically. They also go diagonally. They go down and up. And there have been people drowning, good swimmers, when they were sucked down because of the current. They can even suck the boat. Strong currents can do that. Now, this is also one of the reasons why I recommend to get the salt from a sea that was a circulating sea. So, not closed sea like a Dead Sea, which is basically like a huge lake, but circulating, because more seas are related and connected to oceans. And they have these currents, and water always goes around. Now, and there are some places where on some islands people are using water from underground, which is basically on a sea, on the top of the sea. As it rains, water goes down. Seawater is full of minerals, is heavier than sweet water, and unless you mix it, it is going to remain on the surface. So, in this case, of course, this is not going to be the same salinity. This is why it has to be from open, moving seawater. And unlike of René Quinton, I propose that these small bees, I think they call them chirimichi, they don't sting. They are very, very tiny, and they produce very acidic honey. It is expensive because the bees are very small, and they usually hide in the crevices, very tiny, that nobody can penetrate. In the walls, you have to break wall to get to it, or chop the tree down to get to the honey. And now one of them is running around me. We have a little nest in a wall. Well, Amazon jungle. So all kinds of stuff is here. So this little bee is flying all around me, disturbing me a little bit. So don't fall for advertising. This is why I never like to follow anybody or adhere to their opinion. I rather go directly to the source, ask questions there if I don't know it, then checking what other people say, and then try to figure out, well, what could be the best, which one could be right, or more right than the other. And don't stick to a box. You want to know about salt? Well, don't just examine salt. You know, sea salt, you have to learn a little bit about ocean, how they behave, the currents, the pulls of a moon, what actually causes these currents. And more you know, more you understand correctly, the better you can make your own decision of what to do and how to proceed. And when it comes to René Quinton, number one, yeah, if you want to buy plasma and drink it, go ahead, but it is going to be expensive, especially if you are going to be doing this while implementing self-healers protocol, because you have to drink big amounts of plasma, at least 5 liters a day, 4 liters a day. Getting sea salt, not iodide sea salt, is much cheaper and more effective way to go. Is sea plasma better? Yes, it is better, because also seawater is alkaline, has high percentage of oxygen in it. And oxygenation is also very helpful in a detox. So yeah, if you can, if you are on a seashore, use a seawater, and you don't have to go 10 meters down, you don't have to go 20 meters down. Just advisable is do not take it from the very surface, because impurities like oil will float on the surface. most of the plastic will float on the surface. And it is enough, if it is calmer water, to stick your arm as far as you can and then open the bottle and let it fill in. That's fine. And then when you come home, then filter it through a paper towel or a coffee filter, some fine filter, to get more of these impurities out. And what remains is going to be great. It still will have even some microorganisms in it, but they're all good. They're no problem. They're healthy. You will digest them. So you get also fed a little bit doing this. But this is definitely a better way to go than using sea salt. And when I was living on a boat, I installed from my seacock that cools the engine, there is a strainer, not even filter, just strainer, mesh, so bigger stuff does not get trapped in the cooling mechanism of the boat. And this was the water I was mixing then with potable water, making my plasma. So it doesn't really matter how well you filter the water. Because of high oxygen, the water is basically not sterile, but it cannot have pathogens, because most of the pathogens that affect us are anaerobic pathogens. And they cannot survive in a seawater. So you don't have to worry about it. You will not have infection drinking seawater. And there is no reason for you to bleed yourself and inject plasma directly in your vein, because through absorption, body does very good job. I mean, just if you lay in the water for 20 minutes, you start urinating. Why? Because body starts eliminating surplus, being it of minerals, being it of water, or mix, but it's starting to eliminate. Mucosal tissue absorbs even faster than skin. So by drinking plasma, you absorb it much faster. And your body starts eliminating, again, either through urine or through colon, depending how much stuff is eliminated, because it will not only eliminate surplus of the minerals, it will start eliminating the toxins, which are or unwanted or stuff that is unnecessary and lingers in the blood, which all I put in the same bag, calling it toxin, because it is not supposed to be there. It's not beneficial to linger in the blood. Of course, if you release and get rid of a pint of blood every month, you will, and you drink plasma, you will actually speed up the detox process, because detoxification is a controlled and slow process. Body can release toxins from a tissue way faster than it can cleanse them out of the body through blood or through mucus or through sweat. Even if it uses all three of them, it is a slow process. I know myself, when my body released suddenly bigger amount of toxins, I don't know exactly from where it came. Only by my blood got very toxic and body became yellow. Why? Because the cleansing of the blood is not fast. So when blood gets very polluted, it starts cleansing, and what it cannot cleanse so rapidly, it sticks in a tissue just to offload it from the bloodstream, because blood is our conductor of also what we call energy of electricity. We always say, oh, blood is there because it is the delivery mechanism of nutrients and elimination of what body doesn't need. Yes, it does all of that, but one of the most important things is it delivers energy, delivers electricity. Your heart is your generator, and your blood vessels are your wiring. But then isn't brain energizing the organs? Well, brain is like the solenoid switch that puts them on and off and controls how much they work. But the energy for the job comes through the blood. And this is why when blood is toxic, when it has too many stuff in it and that impede flow of electricity, less electricity or slow delivery of electricity will then make it difficult for organs to work. One of the biggest user is the brain. Again, because it has to keep controlling everything, and it is broadcasting, which is the biggest waste of energy. And when electricity doesn't flow through blood well, then brain is the first one where you notice it. You get tired, you cannot concentrate, you cannot focus. You are sleepy, but then you cannot sleep. And even blurry vision and headaches and all kinds of pains can then result from it. Why does organ shows you a pain? Okay, could be inflammation, but often it's not inflammation. It is basically like, why do we feel pressure in the chest and pain in the chest when heart does not have a sensory nerve? When, well, not enough oxygen comes there, delivery is not there. Then pain alerts us, well, there's something terribly wrong. You gotta fix this. And same will happen if not electricity comes there, if there is not flow of electrical charge. Pain occurs to inform you, look, this area needs more energy. This is why often we have a joint pain. You go to a doctor, they check you out, they see cartilage is seemingly okay, should not create any problem. Why do you have a hip pain when nothing seems out of order? Well, there is no delivery of blood or oxygen. Now why? Well, this has to be resolved. Pain is a symptom. Very often, before even pain occurs, body tries to resolve it. So it increases blood pressure, trying to push the things through. But then we have a smart, brainwash generation of those who listen to others that says, no, you see, we have to drop. The blood pressure is a problem. Increased blood pressure, that's a problem. We got to drop it. So we always are taught to work against the body. What the body wants to do, no, it's not good. You take it the other way around. Well, the only way I could find out the truth is by not listening to anybody else. Everybody has, we love our ego. We love ourselves, and we like the dominance. We like to dominate. And you develop your theory that works for you until somebody proves you wrong. And if they prove you wrong, then you try your best to prove them wrong, proving you wrong. And this comes a fight. And whoever clicks to certain theory, promoting that theory, will always put examples of what supports the theory and try to keep the unsupported things away so people don't see them because they have agenda. And now the agenda is through, originally through scientific circles. It was the scientific cathedra, the so-called scientists deciding, okay, we agreed to this model. And now if somebody is interfering with the model, then they all jump on him. No, that's a... But now we have it worse. Now we have communication systems that are free, they're not controlled. So everyone can place their opinion, and they get followers. People like what they hear. And now it is, well, you see, I'm better because I have more followers. You have less followers means your opinion doesn't count. Unfortunately, if you want to have more followers, what do? You cater to your followers. You tell them more of what you want, you know they want to hear. And you start sticking to this. And somebody gives you objection. And if more objection of the same kind come, you try to accommodate them. So you start changing your story a little bit and accommodating it so you get more followers. Well, this is not science. This is science, which everything has become science. It is motivated by something, usually by money or prestige or recognition. Well, you probably noticed that I don't have many followers, and what I have now is what basically came last 4 years. Before I had 300, 200, 150 followers for years. Why? Because we only know lies. And when you present truth, there is nowhere you fit. So you become you are attacked from all sides, from the mainstream and the alternative, because truth, there is no stance of truth. There was no outlet for truth. We always were saying the truth is this, alternative is truth. No, it's all based on the same science as the mainstream. Just the cures were different. Well, the problem is not only the cure, the problem is the science itself. So when we go back to plasma, if you live next to the sea, use seawater and use salt for your meals, sea salt. If you are away from seawater, don't waste your money buying expensive plasma unless you're a multi-billionaire. Then, hey, if money is no object, do it. Fill your swimming pool with it. But, majority of us, we have not the luxury. And sea salt is just fine. Now, we are in an awakening process, which is very difficult. I know how slowly it was going with me. Most of my life, I was not accepting what I was shown, and I had questions. And, this made me a black sheep. There are many of us like this, because we simply sense that things are not the way we are being told. And it is now, as people are waking up, they are waking up to the most obvious. Well, I use the science of medicine because it's very easy to debunk. It's very simple. And this is why it is so kept in our face and so tightly controlled. You cannot even enter medical school if you cannot be held on a leash, which means only excellent students will be allowed, or people from certain families. Why? Because we know to be excellent student, you have to be very good in repeating what you are told. As soon as you have questions and disagreements, well, your marks come down. You are not anymore excellent student. I'm not stupid, and I was always average. And doesn't matter if I answered my questions 100% or 30%. I always got average mark. Doesn't matter what subject. This was really strange. So once, I remember in high school, after I was examined and I got average mark, 3, between 1 and 5. 1 is you fail, 5 is excellent. Well, 2 is pass. That was in the system when I grew up. I would be getting 3s and occasionally 4s. 5, only when substitute teacher came. Then I was getting 5s. There was no motive there. And then I was questioned by the regular teacher when she returned. Oh, you must have been studying. Great. Let me see what you know. And of course, my marks start going down again. It's all agenda. All my life was agenda. And I was learning as I was going. So, when I start discovering the truth in medicine, this was so unbelievable to me that we have been told things that are completely opposite of what I'm discovering. So I know that this cannot be a mistake. Somebody knows the truth and purposely reverses it. And who does reverse things? Who calls God a Satan or Lucifer? Who calls Lucifer God? Well, it's a Cabal. Everything pointed to Cabal. That Cabal controls medicine. And of course, then I discovered, Rockefellers control all medical books. But then I discovered that Cabal controls everything. All the knowledge is siphoned through Cabal. And all the truths are hidden. They had not been destroyed. They are most likely in Library of Vatican. We will know soon because it is all going to be revealed. Now, this is the end of our slavery. We are breaking free. And now it's a question. How do we want the next movie presented? What society should we create? And there are various opinions. And many of these open-minded people say, well, yeah, freedom has to be there, but there have to be some rules. Well, rules, if you have rules, then you have implications. And then you have a contract of following the rules, which means licenses, permits. We cannot be free as long as we have permits. In the past, this was used to hold us captive, to hold us in prison. We cannot allow this in the future. But now people go, yeah, how are you going to have drivers without driving licenses? Well, who does all these accidents on the street? And so many people dying and so much damage. All done by licensed drivers. Stupidity cannot be licensed. You cannot have license. Okay, he is not stupid. He can drive. He can get licensed. And he's stupid. Well, he cannot get licensed because he is stupid. A lot of people would not be getting licenses if that would be the norm. Freedom is freedom. We are all guided through our soul. We have just taken out the artificial intelligence that was out of control, and people who have sold their souls, so soulless people, Kabbalists. We are taking them out. This is not going to be allowed in the next movie we called the New Earth or the fifth dimensional experience. It is better to be called Christ consciousness. Only conscious people, people with conscience, will be there. We know when we do something wrong. Mistakes can happen. There is no say that you are never going to make mistake. You most likely will make mistake. Why? Because we are creating the game and we don't know all the implications of it. We will learn about them as we go through them in what we call our reality. This is why if we would have known when we have been creating this three-dimensional plane what disconnect is going to cause, disconnect of mind and soul, we would have probably never allowed it to happen. So we made an experiment to see what happens. And we created evil. When us ego only runs loose doing what ego wants for himself or herself. And this is what is causing all these problems. This is not going to be allowed anymore. Not in a fifth dimensional Christ consciousness. So do we need licenses? Not that we don't need them. We cannot allow them to occur. There is no worse feeling than when you have a judge who is wrongly judging you. Happened to me. Okay? happened to me with policemen. I have only one remembrance or record of a pleasant experience with policemen. Everything else, I can call them hoodlums. They are using their position to put you down. So, this cannot happen. No police force. Military is different situation. Because military and public don't mix. Military is completely for different things. Now, in this situation right now, what's happening? Military is being used basically to help to clean up the soulless. And people don't understand this. We are in the last minutes of it, last days. This month is where the whole system is crashing down, and we are going to see the rebirth of the new one. This month or early next month, we will see the rebirth. At least this is what we are being signaled that is going to happen, and we can see what is happening with the sun. We can see what is happening with planet Earth. When planet Earth is shaking, well, what do animals do after a stressful situation? After zebra was chased by a lion, when the danger is off, what does a zebra do? They shake. You shake off the stress. We are supposed to do this too, but we have forgotten because we are no longer connected to our soul. We are now reconnecting. So we will soon know what to do and how to behave. And same is doing with planet Earth. Wherever planet Earth is shaking, she's cleansing. She's releasing. What do we do when our stomachs are very toxic? We vomit. Well, that's a volcano on planet Earth. Shaking, earthquakes, and vomiting, volcanoes, are now going to be rampant this month because Earth has to stabilize itself. We call it tectonic plates. We have all this discussion. Yes, Earth is growing, is expanding, and this is part of it. But more so, she is cleansing and preparing herself for the new fifth-dimensional expression. We are all going to witness this now. We are in a process. It has started. And it's going to get more and more violent until the flip point. When we go from dying system into new creation of new system. Then we are going to go in the pleasant times and more pleasant as it goes. So be ready. This is it. This is it. Well, I was expecting this to happen, I don't know, 5 years ago or even earlier. Why? Because to me, discovering bad things, it was always, okay, it cannot get worse, so from now on it's going to get better, because I know what is going to happen. Only time does not exist. And it is not going to happen until we have what we call the 100 monkey experiment, or what we call herd immunity. It's all the same thing. It's enough energetic support to flip the page. And on planet Earth, it's not that enough people woke up, but many of those who woke up realizing the whole truth, which is very difficult. And it has a great consequence because it brings then people together. It's like having many weights of 1 gram, and then you are weighing something that is 5 kilograms heavy, and you put gram by gram, and you need big pile of these things, of these weights, or you put one of 2 kilo of I don't know, 30 grams, and another one of 20 grams. Then you need less of those 1 gram weights. Well, it's same. You need less awakened people. If those who are awakened have awakened considerably to a profound truth. And this then allows more people to be drawn with the flow. Apparently, this is what is happening. And this is what even sped up this final illumination process. So be ready for it. Watch the skies. You can listen to YouTubers like Stefan Burns, who explains what's happening with the Earth. Mostly, it's not so important what he says about volcanoes and about earthquakes. What is important, what he says for the sun and the ionosphere, how jammed it is becoming with ionic activity, and how sun is sending the ionic plasma waves. This is all activating our dormant DNA. Those are the activation codes. And we are starting to remember certain things from different timelines. We are going to start remembering who we actually are, because we have a record. Our cell has complete record of creation. And when we start connecting our mind with our soul, ego with the heart, we are going to be able to see more of these records, which we call Akashic records. And we'll have better understanding of the whole spiel and ourselves as individuals, because we are all part of the same consciousness. Watch the sky, because higher ionic activity is going to start showing aurora borealis, northern lights, all around the planet, not only on the poles. It is going to start shifting closer to equator, and finally it will engulf the whole planet, including equator. So once people closer to equator, like down in Texas, down in Greece, North Africa, when they start seeing aurora borealis, we are close. And then the next step, which is going to be probably a couple hours before the illumination, we are going to see aurora borealis falling down to the ground, descending. And these are going to be the strong ionic codes. They are going to be clearing some of the old programming and allowing us to use the knowledge we have acquired. And the people that did not have this knowledge, but they were good at heart, they will make the transition, but they will be lost. So those who will be with more knowledge will be more activated and will be teachers of those who are now just starting to realize the truth. But it's going to be a great experience altogether. good for everyone. No more worry about money. Everybody will be encouraged to do what they like to do. And everybody will try to help others to achieve their goals, because by they achieving their goals, they are benefiting everyone else. Now, what do I mean by this? If somebody likes to sing, well, I know many people who like to sing, and it is difficult to listen to them because they're out of tune and they have bad voices. But if you really like to sing, you will be singing, and then people can be talking to you and say, okay, try to do this voice like this. Try to open your throat. Try to open your stomach. They'll show you. They'll teach you. The better you sing, the more pleasure it is going to be for other people listening to you. So it's in everybody's benefit for you to get better. Not to step down on you and now look, I can do this, and look, I get all this money and you are nothing. No, this is the old one. In new one, we realize that by supporting people around us, they get better. When they get better, your life gets better. Somebody loves to design motorcycles and designs great motorcycle. Well, I would support him because I like to drive motorcycle. And those who love to design, they are never satisfied with the design. As soon as they make it and they drive it, because this is how we are all, we are creators. We cannot say, okay, I'm here to create this and I'm done now. I'm now going to sit and wait. Wait for what? To die? When you run out of ideas and you feel that nothing is here for you, you are going to leave. You're going to go and manifest in different frequency. Let's see what happens over there. Here we call it death, because we are not in control of it. Well, we used to be, but we have been captured and disconnected. So we are not in control and we fear it. Once when you understand that you basically, time comes when you achieved what you wanted to achieve, and now you are getting bored because there is nothing for you to do. You feel like worthless. Well, shift and go somewhere in different frequency and do something there. So I'm always going to support someone who designs boats or flying objects or motorcycles, some movable things, especially those where I can actually live. Because I don't want to live in one area for the rest of my life, or worrying whom I'm going to sell it if I want to move somewhere else, and what I'm going to buy there, if I'm going to have to build there. Why not to have a mobile place and just take it with you, and you don't have to hitch it? How about fly it? How about manifesting it? Okay, so we have plenty to work on in the fifth dimensional field. Don't worry, it's going to be great. It's going to be above everyone's expectation because we are not even aware of what possibilities are there. We don't even know what already was discovered and used on this planet for 50 or 100 years or longer. It's going to be new, complete things for us as we awaken to the truth. Keep positive. Keep discovering things for yourself. You want to know about something? Think about it. Observe. And then if there is someone you trust because you don't trust yourself, well, you can check the information, but don't get stuck on one information. Check it from different sources. More information you accumulate, your brain has more places to go to evaluate and see where the truth may lie. And then when you get all the information you can and you are satisfied with your results, go on. Discover other things. Okay, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And see you next video until our internet collapses. God bless us all. Namaste.